Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're at Le Mans. We are entertaining a new car. I just stumbled across this one as I was in the car shop the other day, and it's the Corvette Stingray. It's a pre-racing concept from the early 60s, prior to the 67 race at Le Mans, which we're focusing on. I thought this might be an interesting one. We weren't too happy with the C2, and the C3 was too late to be included in the race. So I thought this might be an absolute cracker for the race. Unfortunately, as we go to look at the setup, we see it's rather limited. But let's go and check it out. So coming in at 683.37 pp on medium tyres. We might choose to change to softs depending on tyre wear. But I've got a funny feeling these might be older generation tyres. This is the Concept 59, so it's a few years earlier. It's a small block V8, which has got quite a bit of power, but we'll just have to see where it sits. So fully customizable suspension, everything standard. Fully customizable diff, which will of course make 555. Not really had any feedback on the 555 things, but it kind of works for me. Downforce is not adjustable. There's nothing else to add to the car. You can't fit anything in the auto body shop. Fully customizable ECU is as it is. Fully customizable racing transmission, which we have manually set to 300. Could go 310, but I've got a funny feeling in the sixth fuel map that it might not have the power to push through. We have chucked on the racing intercooler. We've got the supercharger high-end torque. Everything else is standard. You can't change anything. We've added the brake balance controller. No clutch or flywheel. There's no prop shaft. We've got stroke up, titanium conrods and pistons, racing crankshaft, and the increased body rigidity added. Max power sits at 622. So it's got quite a bit of power. Let's go see what it's like on the track. Welcome to the World Touring Car 700. This might be one of the last visits we do till the final race. Let's see how the day goes. We've just purchased the racing softs. Let's see if we come in under the 700. Look at that, 698.94. We're going to switch it back to mediums though for the opening stint. And look at settings. Assist will be traction control 1, default ABS. We will run with ASM and counter steer on strong. Controller settings. Steering sensitivity 5. Force feedback match torque 5. Force feedback sensitivity 6. What can we say? We expect the weather to play a difference. These cars from the older generation need to run long. We've discovered that through the series. Let's see if we can do 3 or 4 laps on the tyres to start with. Try and brave the rain. If we can carry on past the rain, we're just going to have to pit once for tyres. But if not, we're going to have to pit twice, which could make it a challenge. Let's see if this Corvette is better than the C2. We're going to push the settings up to 310. And go again. So fuel map to 6. So fuel map straight to 6, and let's see where the car goes. It's quite strong. It's only going to have 5th gears. It's an older generation gearbox. We just give the back end of the Ferrari a bit of a love tap, just to let Mr. Bishop know we're here. So fuel is going to be the first major thing we need to focus on. Where are we going to be? Are we going to be three laps at the bottom of here? Just got to watch the grip and the slide of the car. It's got a lot of torque. No downforce, so the older generation cars tend to suffer with a little bit of that. Mr. Kato and Mr. Kevlam kind of a bit of a tussle. So 4th gear up into 5th. We're on fuel map 6, so need to see where this is going to get to. Is it going to push 200 mile an hour? And we need to brake at the early braking indicator, 300. It's gone in excess of the 200. Getting this to slow down is a beast because it's on old technology brakes. It's got a little bit of grunt, so it looks like we're going to get 3 laps without any sort of short shifting, so we're going to have to employ some. That definitely means a 2-stop strat. Let's lift early. See if we can get some of that fuel back. Oh, 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 oh. It doesn't like to slow down this. We're going to have to slow down much earlier than we think. No penalty for that slight transgression over the white line. We're going to lift at the banner and then brake accordingly, knowing we have to ease off. Making way up the field though. Look at that. We're in 7th place already. Oh, back end of our car overtakes us. The car, when it's braking, feels like it has a very nose down attitude. You know, the front end dives. Probably could do with some stiffening at the front end. I wonder if it's already set up with quite a bit of rake. That is nose down, tail up. Into 4th place. We're going to ease off. Going to brake into this corner. I think this might be a bit of a handful in the wet. If the wet comes. Only 6 seconds off the leaders. If any of you are running this with automatic gearbox, you could find this a bit of a challenge on the... Actually, you might find it easier on the change down. You just might find it a bit of a pig to stop. Especially if you're on controller, so... We're just going to ease off a bit earlier here. This car turns in naturally to that corner. I don't think you can see it when you're in the car, but there is quite a bit of slope there, I think, down to the apex. We've run many laps here as we have at the other grind circuits, and it's one we're always learning, especially for the changing conditions. So down to 2.4 laps at this point. Knowing what we've got in fuel, knowing that we're going to do to the end of lap 3. All 3 cars are in front of us. Let's change now to the weather screen and see what that's going to tell us. We're only 4 seconds off the lead. Lost a little bit through there. Missed the drifter. The old rear tyres are looking a bit punished. We're on the mediums as well, aren't we? Probably going to have to take it a little bit easy just to make sure we can get through the 3rd lap. Oh, hard tyres might have to be where it's at. Did we buy them though? That's the question. I don't believe we bought the hards. Let's brake and lift early. If we need to be a little bit of a master of the tyre wear, we can actually just sit with the boys at front and do what we need to do. They've formed a chain. We're going to take the initiative. Slide on past at 195 mile an hour. Back end just wants to step out. We're going to have to manage that brake balance. We don't have brake balance controller. Well, okay. Okay, that's going to make things a little bit more interesting. Got to manage these tyres then. No rain on the radar that we can see at this time. Back end is wanting to start to move around. It looks like we have rain from the top left-hand corner, the northwest quadrant. It looks like there's something hiding behind that bar. Doesn't look like it's coming in very quickly, so I reckon lap 3's on if we can make these tyres work. As we're just pushing out for a bit of lead. These tyres aren't going to make it. I think I'm going to have to stop for a second lap. I think we're going to have to stop for a biddy. That cloud is just pushing on past by the looks of it. Yeah, these rear tyres aren't going to make it. We're not going to make it into the pits without a bit of collateral. Come on. We get overtaken by Miss McEwen as she goes in sideways. And Mr. Blazan. We're just going to refuel to 2 laps and go again. Bit of a strange strategy. Can't believe these tyres are so weak. And we're going to have to take a gamble on the rain, see where this car goes. In all fairness, these older generation cars are much, much trickier. The cars from the mid-60s are pretty easy to manage, but the ones from the early 60s, late 50s, early 50s, much more of a problem to get a handle on. Let's go. Mr. Blazan was in and away. Look at him go. He didn't take much in the way of fuel, did he? That's dropped us down to 16th place. We've got a little bit to do. There's nothing on the rain radar at all. Next pit stop, we're going to need fuel and tyres. It's definitely greyed over though. "37 seconds down." That's the entirety of our pit stop. Oh, we're running through those. That'll probably be a little bit of a penalty. McEwen's in front of us. So both McEwen and Blazan both took tyres and sprinted through without fuel. If they, like us, believed there was some rain coming in. There is a polished look to the track, isn't there? Well, if this is going to be a 3-stop race, it's going to be an interesting one. So making our way progressively up to 12th place. It looks like the sky's brightening again. It looks like the initial forecast has manifested itself without any precipitation. Listen to the big words coming out. The technical knowledge of rain. Made our way up to 10th place again. 29.3 seconds behind the leader. So the majority of the leaders will go to the pits this time round. We're going to be forced to do another lap. Let's see where we are on fuel. 1.6 laps of fuel. We're good. We overshot on fuel. Here's Kevlin, who had the earlier incident. Has got to catch the car as it slides. Mr. Portilla goes to the pits. Lots of these cars going into the pit lane. We're going to shoot up. Probably one of the only cars going past the pit lane on this lap. But we are pitting at the end of this next lap. Don't know what happened there. What I can tell you is this car is very, very, very difficult to manage when it wants to be. It lacks grip. The downforce makes it very, or the lack of downforce, it makes it a particularly hard car to manage at occasions. Very unpredictable. This is where we need a better setup, but hey ho, let's see if it's going to do it. 1.3 laps of fuel, so we're plenty of fuel. Really are diving into these pits. Oh, forced wide by Mr. Hayward there. Not particularly pleasant that, was it? "15 minutes remaining." So it looks like we're on for a 7-lapper over 30 minutes. Thought it was going to go again then, mid-corner. I wonder if it was the changing down that led me to that spin as we came past the end of the start-finish straight. We changed from 5th to 4th, and I wonder if that just locked the rear axle. Setting up for the fastest lap of the race, which is with this Portilla at the moment, a 4:18.9. We're not going to get a chance to actually set a fastest lap unless we pit in this time. We do this one lap and then pit in. Oh, she's gone again. Rear tyres are cooked. And we get half a second penalty. We are going into the pits on this occasion, but look at that rear left. We're not particularly pushing hard, but we're taking a hammering. We're going to go in for tyres and fuel. We'll be spending that that penalty next lap. No real threat of rain at all, is there? We do have rain top right hand corner, so we've got the option to pit now, take the racing slicks, and then see if we can get in okay this time. There we go. We're going to take the mediums and we're going to fuel for 2.5, 2.6 laps. And we may then just pit after one lap. Lots of people coming in. Looks like Portilla will bypass though. So we've got to chase them down. So the chase will be on. Other cars bypassing us, leapfrogging us in the pit lane because they've got a more favourable pit stall. Here we go, changing tyres, taking the mediums again. Look at those older technology racing tyres that are grooved. Take the fuel on board. Everybody's filling. There we go. We've still got that penalty. We're 24.4 seconds down. Now 25 seconds. So Mr. Portilla is pushing on, about to go down the Mulsanne straight. We're going to punch in 2 laps here, laps 5 and lap 6. If we need to, because there's no rain on the rain radar, it's gone. There is rain in the bottom left-hand corner. Whilst it's remained dry, it's made a challenge of this race purely because it's meant the AI can run open and free with no weather interfering with their strategy. We've got one more pit stop to make. We've got quite a bit of work to do here. Is it on? Can't get the car to slow down. It just will not work with the gearing. It hasn't got big brakes. We're taking time out of Mr. Portilla. Mr. Kawakami, we can see ahead. The car accelerates beautifully. It does pull really well. Just braking has a lot to be desired. Got to brake on the 300, it seems. That rain cloud does not look like it's going to interfere with us, which isn't a major tragedy. There are less than 10 minutes to go. Mr. Kawakami is going to get put into our rear view mirror. There he goes. Have a look. There he is. We're going to brake. Let off and let the car coast so that we don't have a major tragedy under braking. We came in very narrow. 14 seconds behind Mr. Portilla. Is Mr. Portilla continuing on, or is he pitting this lap around? We're going to suffer our penalty now, which is only a stab on the brakes, and away we go. So that 2 seconds we had lead on. Mr. Kawakami is maintained. We need the next 2 laps to be flawless to be able to catch Mr. Portilla. I just saw him in the distance there. So a completely dry race here at Le Mans. 11 seconds we've taken out of him that lap. See if we're just going to lift off through this corner as to not invoke the spinny slide. Breaking through that fast right-hander like we did last time. And we're going to get to see him again as he disappears around the corner. There he was. We spun it at a different point this time. The car backs off onto the grass, which just unpredictable. The front wheel chunking there as we came round that off that grass. I'm hoping that was the curbs. So back to 19 seconds behind. So what we deduced then is this car needs more than just our standard setup work to make it drivable. I'm 100% sure it's capable, but it doesn't support the simple tuning system that we've developed. It falls outside that remit. So ideally this is not a good grinder for me. It looked like we had the opportunity to go and win this. I'm not entirely sure it's going to have that crown though. We can catch up 10 seconds in a lap. So if we go in mano a mano, pit stop on a pit stop, and we don't have any more incidents, there's an opportunity for this car still to make up that ground, because essentially because of the overspeed, it has probably 35 mile an hour above and over the GR4 class that it's racing against. It is a racing car on its own brand. It has got its own qualities. It is an extremely fast car, but it doesn't do cornering. Not with this level of setup. So we've got it down to 12 seconds. We won't get the fastest lap. What we've got to do now is get in there and pit. Get stuck in. Minutes 44 remaining. We know we can get a lap time of around about, look at that slide, of about a 4:10. That's going to be quite well within our grips, but we're just not going to manage it. We're going to have to drop to softs this time, just to do the 1 lap blast, see if that can give us the grip through the corners that we're so lacking, and see if we can make a set of tyres last that 1 lap. There she goes again, just sliding as she wants to. I hate to think what she'd be like on the hards for mid-corner sliding. Back tyre is just falling apart. Here's Portilla going for the pit. Just 7 seconds ahead. There he is, he's dived down pit lane. We've got to brake nice and hard to make sure we get into this one. And then we've got to worry about anybody else going straight past. So we're taking the softs and we're going to take 1.2 laps of fuel. He's on 15% fuel. He's pitting earlier than we are. Will he change tyres? That's the question. The other cars behind us on a blend of hards and softs with varying types of fuel level. This is all going to be about the top speed. If we're somewhere near our competitors Oh, Portilla's gone. Haywood's gone. Mangiano are past us, so tyres have changed. Fuel's in. Let's get out of here. It looks like we could come out in fourth. We're just behind Kawakami as he tries to cross the white line and exit in the pit lane, which very naughty thing to do. 14 seconds back. That third gear has a lot of pull. There we go, we saw them. Bit more grip through that corner, that's much better. Will these last the lap? That's the question. Oh, the back end wanted to fish then, didn't it? So, Mr. Mangiano, first on the target list. See if we can get him by the second set of corners. We must brake on the 300. If we fail to brake in time, we're going to suffer a dead fate. We'll suffer penalties banging through there. So there it is. There's the braking point. We got in. 10 seconds back. I think we can see Portilla, but it's Haywood that we're going to struggle to catch. Going to brake on the 300 again. As we come aside Mangiano, we're going to have to brake hard. Oh, coming narrow there. 7 seconds down. The proper nail biter. .9 seconds. Well, we tried to carry speed round there. Look, we can see him in front of us. The weather radar is clear. We're just in the dimming sunlight of a cloudy evening. We've got the fuel. 4.2 seconds back. We're going to have to be careful on this final corner of this back straight complex. Let's get on the brakes. So, just less than a second behind. We've managed to claw it all back. The overspeed of this car gives us the opportunity if we go into first place. Now, we've got to be cautious. This car has a tendency to understeer through these corners here and oversteer as we go into the corner. The front end might slide out. It's managed to grip. There we go. We're going to head towards the wall. No, we're going to be good here. Just on the brakes again. We don't want to lose it. Getting a low fuel warning, but got enough to get us to the end. The track seems a bit glossy. So, a capable grinder. Well, it's going to win us the money, isn't it? It's going to win us the money. It doesn't get the fastest lap because we don't do a single lap without a pit stop, but it's managed a 3-stop win. Absolutely terrific. There she is. There she is. What a little beast. But any better than the C2? Well, only you decide. And there she is, folks. 31 minutes 15, so not the slowest car we've ever had. Especially with the number of stops, it manages to beat all sorts of cars. A number of cars come in with no time finish. So fastest lap goes to Mr. Portilla, a 4:18.901. We know this car had a 4:10 in it at least. And it delivers the cash to the bank account with the clean race bonus. There it is. And a 4-star ticket. Could be worth $1 million. There you have it, folks. Absolutely stunning racer. Probably more your oval racer than your Le Mans beast. Quite capable, but quite tricky to drive, as you can see. It made it a bit of a nail biter, but a comfortable winner in the end. It's up to you what you do, folks. If you want to take this to the track and give it a run, it's probably a racer you'll never race anywhere else. But thank you, folks. We'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care. There's no more gear. Braking is the problem. We're going to restart that.